It's 4th of July weekend. I caught this huge, beautiful striped bass on my kayak, a 34-inch striped bass. This is one of the largest fish that I caught on my kayak, although my personal best remains to be a 43-inch striped bass that I caught years ago. I wanted to use this video to discuss how kayaks are great for fishing. Do you fish on a kayak? Or do you surfcast or fish off of a boat? I happen to be a kayak fisherman, and that's what I love, but I know a lot of you may fish by other means. Tell me what kind of fishing you prefer, or what kind of fishing you do. I'd love to hear any friendly comments in the comment section below. On this trip, I caught small pollock for a bait fish, and I trolled it on a circle hook with a small weight to keep it below the surface as I paddled. I paddled around close to the rocks on the shore, where I believe the larger striped bass are hunting for their prey. Striped bass are otherwise known as rockfish, so that's where you can find them, rocky shorelines where the water may have rocky ocean floors as well. So I was trolling the bait fish close to the rocky shoreline when the striper hit my fishing rod in its rod holder. I picked up the rod and started to fight the fish. Ironically, the area that was fighting the fish, when I got to this fishing area, there were some boats here, and those fishing boats actually became impatient and went elsewhere. But because I was in a kayak and I can't travel as far, I stayed in the area and eventually caught this fish. In my opinion, kayaks are great for fishing for striped bass because they allow you to get close to and hit that sweet spot between where surfcasters can cast and also where boats can go. I've had a running conversation with my friend Stanley. We speak about how ironic it is that surfcasting fishermen from the shore are often trying to cast their bait and rigs as far out to sea as possible in order to catch striped bass in deeper ocean. In contrast, fishermen on boats will try to troll or anchor as close to rocky shorelines as possible, and then they'll be casting their bait fish as close to the rocky shorelines in order to catch the fish near the rocks there. Surfcasters cannot get out to some locations because they're wading or casting from the shore, and so some locations or shorelines out in the ocean are not available to them. And if they are on those shorelines, they can only cast their bait so far. Even with longer fishing rods, like 10 feet long, the rigs can only go as far as possible. Boats, in contrast, can move all over the place. But, if they catch bait fish, they can often put them in live wells and head over to their favorite spots or chase feedings, and they can get to places faster and further than I can on a kayak. But one thing that they can't do, though, is get too close to the rocks because they can get damaged, and that can be expensive for the boat owners. Kayaks can go out into the ocean, out of the reach of surfcasters, and reach those fishing locations or shorelines or feedings that surfcasters can't go to. But they can't travel as far as the boats can go. However, kayaks can get really close to the rocks, like I said, and they're relatively inexpensive. So, if you hit the rocks, you don't have to worry too much about significant or costly damage to the plastic hulls. Kayaks are also very quiet, and you can paddle up to a location and sneak up on the fish, not spook them with the sound of the motor or engine. They're also very low maintenance. They don't require any gasoline, no oil, no visits to the boat mechanic. You're really propelling it with your body, like by either paddling, or if you have feet pedals on your kayak, you can do that too. So it's really a fun workout. They're also very light, so when I travel, I can deploy my kayak. I can put it on my car on the roof rack, and I can deploy my kayak at several fishing locations depending on where I want to fish. And so I check the fishing reports or talk to friends nearby to see where the bite is. So this fish I caught was one of the largest fish I caught on my kayak at 34 inches long. I think it was the second largest fish that I caught. According to the internet, this fish is approximately 9 years old versus a 28-inch fish, which is the lower end of the limit. That would be 6 years old. There's a new slot limit here in Massachusetts of 28 to 31 inches to help lower harvesting rates for striped bass and help the population out. So this was a successful catch, photo, and release. However, the fish was gut hooked. The circle hook was caught inside its throat, and although I could see the hook, I didn't want to pull it out because that may end up killing the fish inadvertently. So instead, I cut the line as close to the hook as possible and released the fish as soon as I could, leaving that hook in its and hopefully it'll rust and deteriorate and disappear, and hopefully the fish will still be able to swallow food. Do you fish on a kayak, or do you surfcast or fish off a boat? You know, like I said, tell me what kind of fishing you prefer and what you think the pros and cons are. Please share any friendly comments in this comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please click like, comment, or subscribe. This is one of my fishing videos on my fishing playlist on YouTube. Please check out my other fishing videos. I think you'll really enjoy them. Thanks for watching.